Good evening, everybody. Many thanks for attending this webinar. First of all, we all are passing through a very difficult phase. I wish and I pray to the Lord, may everybody be at a healthy and safer mode, and whoever is having whatever problem, they should overcome with their own effort and by the effort of societies and by the effort of the corona frontline warriors, whoever are there at this point in time and managing this so very effectively. First of all, I would like to say thanks and my gratitude to FMJPI group, who is continuously organizing this kind of events for the fraternity, and they have also asked me if I can be a part of this group and can contribute to the fraternity. So I felt proud and I said yes without any doubt. Though they had given me another opportunity earlier, I couldn't do that. But this time, I am fortunate enough to be with all of you. So let me start with something about FMJPI group, whatever I know. FMJPI is one of the largest and biggest network dedicated only to facilities management industry with a vision and mission in mind. The founder is Nilesh Barot, none other than, and he founded it in 2015. As on date, FMJPI represents the entire facilities management fraternity, supporting industry people across this country for end-to-end solutions of any kind of requirement in this FM industry. Since the inception, FMJPI role is to connect the missing dots, and in 5 years, to best of my knowledge, they have achieved the goal successfully, because in the same platform I have seen many stalwarts. I don't want to name anybody, whoever have done this kind of events. I found them the front line and the leadership team of this FM industry as on date, whom I think they are contributing a lot to this FM fraternity. Coming back to about me, if you all have seen my LinkedIn posting today, I have very clearly mentioned neither I am a good speaker nor I am an expert in maintenance. So, but I don't know why this topic came to my mind. But in any case, my name is Sangram Dhar. Right now, I am working as the president for Proton Facilities Solutions. Proton Facilities is a group of APS group of companies founded in 1986, and they have got branch locations in all part of this country, and it's a very stable and matured group as far as facilities management industry is concerned. APS group has already acquired more than 4 companies in this country, and I have already divested one company called Securitan through Blackstone to CMS, and they have got many milestones being achieved. If I can name few, they are the first company to launch the first private cash van in this country. They are the first company to launch the first bulletproof van to carry cash in this country. So they have got many things to do in this country for the first time, and many people followed them. So I am proud to be a part of Proton Group now. I am a master in engineering from National Sugar Institute, Kanpur, which is the only institute in this country, whose institute in the country from Government of India side, who is contributing to the sugar industry. So I did my masters from there. Post that, I worked some months in sugar factory, and sugar factory is basically, it's a seasonal factory. So 6 months during the crushing season, when the sugar cane availability is there, the factory runs 24/7 to produce the sugar whatever sugar cane is coming on a daily basis, we need to ensure that all of them are getting crushed and being converted to sugar. The rest of the 6 months is a very tough time for people like us who are engineering graduate or engineering fraternity, because you have to overhaul the entire plant. So very what I can say, boring job. Okay, there is no production. The factory would be calm and quiet, but the engineering people would be doing the maintenances, greasing, oiling, all these kind of things. So I thought, yeah, I don't think this is my cup of tea. But anyway, the maintenance word came from there to my mind. So I came to Delhi. I got fortunate to join a company called Roto Power, where the promoter is Mr. Ravi Srivastav. He is also an engineer by qualification himself, very good engineer. So whatever I learned today in in engineering is from him, apart from my institute. So he's a person of highest repute in this market, in this country, and he uh, he took me into the maintenance division, because he was having the contracting division, the execution division, where he was leading the show. He was having a plan to set up a maintenance division where he was looking for a guy. So I joined him as a engineer trainee, project engineer, you can say. And after 3 to 5 years of time, he saw my efforts and anything and everything. So I became a part of the senior management. Then we took this company. I worked with him for 13 years when Roto Power came into limelight in this country, and we were fortunate enough to taken over by a company called Tenon. So Tenon is now as on date is the fastest growing facilities management company in this country. I also spent 12 years there, one of my golden periods in Tenon. I admire Tenon a lot. I learned a lot from Tenon also. The entire senior management, whoever I worked with, my colleagues, I got a fantastic time, in working with them. There is no doubt, and I must publicly admit also, um, it's a very aggressive company and doing very well in this industry. So when I joined them in my division, when I came from Rotopar, it was 16.5 crores turnover, and they also were having a FM division at that point in time. So when I left that company, the launching pad was up to 500 crores. So during 12 years, so I was a part of the entire group only. I don't know how much I have contributed, but I am very happy and very satisfied today. I put my best effort there, and I ensured our contribution to the fraternity should be at the highest level. The standards should be as high as possible, and brand value should be as much as possible. So my contribution would be to the extent possible, but yes, it was a teamwork, and I was fortunate enough to work with many people who are very well known in this industry. So finally, I decided after 12 years with them to do something new, to do something, what do you call, encouraging, challenging. So I thought, let me explore something else. That is how I am right now with Proton. So I am fortunate enough to get shortlisted by them, and my journey has already started here. So guys, I don't want to take much time here. So the topic today is maintenance management in facilities management. Today we all know, if I will say immunity, I think a small child can also say what immunity is. So we are now very much concentrated towards immunity of our own self. sorry, so how to build our immunity to the next level and blah blah blah. So this same immunity, if as an engineer, or I mean, why only engineer? As on date, maintenance means it's not only the maintenance of equipment. We can take the maintenance of floor, maintenance of blinds, maintenance of facade. Anything can be of maintenance. So be it cleaning and hygienic activities. Even if in securing the premises, there are many gadgets are being used. So maintenance of those equipments also. You go to any hospital today, you will find more medico engineers than the doctors, because the doctor, whatever they do today is with the help of equipments. Without equipments, the technology is so advanced, they can't think of anything else apart without the equipment. Gone are those days, some doctors were there by just touching at your nerves and anything and everything. They would have told you, or they were telling you, this is what your disease and this is what your medicine is. But nowadays that thing is not there. So whichever field we are talking of, maintenance is one of the prime factor today. That might be the reason I choose this topic. Now, whatever we do to immunize ourselves, to get rid of any kind of external disease, if we do proper routine activities to equipment, so that's called maintenance, and that's what is the what do you call perfect contribution to a machine. So today I am buying a car, and if I want to maintain this car as per the book, as per the manufacturer's recommendation, then I can assure myself that my car can go on a long run, to a longer period of drive and everything, without having any trouble in between. So the same way, if you seek of the same thing, what do you call equipments, if we do proper maintenance of the equipment, then we can ensure the equipment can be more efficient, can be more productive, and can be more value of asset to the buyer also. So I'll try to focus on maintenance activities or maintenance management in facilities management perspective, because I have got 25 years of experience into this facilities management industry. So I'll try to focus on that. So objective of maintenance is, what is the objective? To depute appropriate skill sets for providing services to maintain 100% uptime. So the objective of maintenance is to ensure 100% uptime, and by deputing the particular skill set. Regular maintenance of all infrastructure and engineering equipment, so be it preventive, be it corrective, or be it breakdown maintenance. The aim and objective is to achieve more life for the equipment. And also the objective should be monitoring and planning of maintenance as per the approved schedule by the original equipment manufacturer, as per the warranty status, as per the AMC requirement. And also it is not only by the user, there should be a proper coordination between the original equipment manufacturer or their service agent, dealers, or authorized service people, and the user. So the facilities management people should be act as an interface between both of them. Management of service provider, monitoring the BMS of the equipment, which is now a common factor, and also execution of maintenance as per schedule, and monitoring the equipment performance regularly can give us a better output in terms of maintaining the system. So in maintaining a particular equipment or a system or a plant or a office, there are three major components. One is resource management, the other one is cost optimization, and the third one would be maintenance practices, how to ensure the proper practices are maintained. So in resource management, which is the key, because the equipment is there, the equipment cannot tell you ki, this is my problem, please rectify me. You have to understand from different kind of noise, from different kind of temperature, or whatever are the parameters available. So evaluate roles and responsible of the resources who are going to be deployed for this kind of maintenance management, and also the tools or the kits required to do the proper maintenance should be there, of proper make, of proper specification, of proper size and shape, so that the particular maintenance can be achieved. Coming back to cost optimization, which is a major component, and it's not only because of this lockdown, because of the slow in economy, it is a evergreen subject. Cost optimization is an integral part and parcel of all of our life. So performance evaluation of utility equipments, energy consumption assessment, how can we ensure the conservation of energy is being there, and also to implement different kind of energy saving measure or cost saving measure uh, in different periods of the time, that is also required. Now maintenance practice, preview the ongoing practice whatever is there, then define changes to improve upon the practices, and also implement reliability centered maintenance practices. Now this is also one of the important aspect in ensuring the maintenance practices are met. Now in resource management, we have already discussed roles and responsibility of staffing, and proper tools should be there. In cost optimization, we have discussed performance evaluation of utilities, energy consumption assessment, and implement cost saving measures. This should be there. And in maintenance practice, review ongoing practices, define changes to improve upon reliability and optimize the cost, and implement reliability centered maintenance practice. This is what we have discussed so far. Now engineering services have got many kind of roles to play, or many kind of activities which can define the engineering services as a whole. So electromechanical services assessment, first of all let us do the assessment, then technical due diligence, then project management as per the need, annual maintenance contract should be in place, technical support is also one of the important factors. So who is going to give the technical support? Some from the inside team, in-house team, some from the original equipment manufacturer or their associate, and if required, some from the expert or the consultants available in this market. And finally the process development support. How can the entire process be developed to ensure there is a end-to-end support is available. So technical due diligence, if I can describe it more, it also constitutes three parts. Again, resource utilization, equipment health checks, and practices and processes should be also in line. Resource utilization, how to optimize the manpower. It is not only the fact that 1 lakh square feet building, 3 generators, 2 air conditioning machine, so put one technician per shift per equipment. So that should not be the fact. We should optimize the manpower. We should also assess the skill set of these people, so that we know where they are, what improvement can be done further, and all these things. And again, to assess the gap of availability of tools or the equipment to do the preventive maintenance, that is also important. Recalibration of those equipments in periodic time as per the book. These are small things but matter a much. Otherwise what will happen, whatever we are going to do or we are trying to achieve out of this is not going to be achieved. So those are the things which are also very important. Now equipment health checks, we should do capacity utilization. Many of the cases when the consultant got appointed by the owner or the uh, you know the manager, they used to take many kind of safety precautions. You never know, of a requirement of 500 kVA they would have deployed a 750 kVA transformer. So 250 kVA, which is 50% compared to this 500 kVA, is available there without any reason. So I'm just giving an example. So many of these kind of things will be there when a maintenance guy comes into play. So that capacity, how can we utilize better? How can we optimize the utilization? That thing also play an important role here. And skill set as a root cause analysis for any breakdown. If at all any breakdown has happened, how can it be not repeated? That is also very much important. And condition checks and balances to be done every point in time. That's also an important factor. In practices, annual maintenance plan, work methods, key performance indicators, and information system. These all should be in place to ensure the schedule and everything are in place. So these are the basics of maintenances, whatever I am talking. And this is applicable for all equipment, all verticals, all sectors. Now coming back to project management, so what we do is to do some activities. Sometimes we need to do a small project kind of things. So we also need to do a good end-to-end project planning. So project initiation, good planning, and project execution. These are the first three components. So project initiation is like engage with the client at the conceptual stage. What is the purpose and what we are going to achieve out of this? Access the business needs and infrastructure, architectural and budget estimation depending on the size and shape of availability, and cost benefit analysis. So these are the project initiation thing. During planning, project timeline, man hour and cost mapping, architectural and MEP services drawing, preparation of bill of materials with material data sheets, work method, quality control specification, and finally procurement process. So this is come under the planning thing. Now how to start the execution? Deploy the required and skilled manpower, then deploy safety officer as on date, which is very important. Nowadays to the COVID protocol safety officer is also an important factor. Then site preparation, then logistics management for procurement. You have initiated procurement during planning. Now here you will be doing the procurement and track the progress report by in whichever means. Now then closing out the project. So commissioning of the test reports, define checklist for practical completion, clear the snags, whatever would be available, and prepare project completion document, which is the Bible while you are going to give the handover. Now then comes the handover of the transition phase. So we have to prepare a transition plan, then control of the documents, conduct appropriate training programs to give the training to the people who are going to maintain and manage it, and define a proper 52 weeks maintenance planner so that whatever we are handing over in whichever stage should intact. Now after completion also we require support. So on site knowledge, then a good coordination with the original equipment manufacturer, the warranty support, and support for snag rectification, whatever will come on the way. Those things are also required. Now there are some equipments for which comprehensive annual maintenance contract is required to be on a safer side for major equipment. So be it generators set or electrical switchboards, UPS, air conditioning system, lifts, elevators, firefighting system. So wherever the criticality is there, we need to ensure we have got a comprehensive AMC contract in place so that anytime whatever maintenance need is there, we can get it from the respective people. We should also have a on-call maintenance support services in place. So people like many facilities management company have started doing this, or you know any kind of logistics can be arranged. And also this procurement of spares, how can the spare availability won't be a challenge at any point in time, that should also be there. Now maintenance program, when we set up a maintenance program, when we develop a process for a maintenance program, what we need to do is we have to define a proper program for the maintenance. We have to prepare a work method statement. We have to evaluate the resource utilization, and also we have to define the KPI. So maintenance program, work method statements, resource utilization and KPI, these four parameters will constitute the entire maintenance program. Now after doing this, how can we ensure the business risk assessment is also in place? So assess the fire and life safety risk, whatever is there, we have to assess that. Budget and timeline estimation to mitigate the risk, because some things would be very critical, super critical, critical, normal, non-critical, semi-critical. This tagging can be also done. And also there should be emergency response plan ready, well defined, well trained and well practiced, so that at the point in time whenever it is required, this is in place. Now for work method development, develop the process flow, develop the resource mapping, and develop scope and responsibility matrix. This is how we can ensure the work method development is there. Now while we doing resource assessment, which is one of the important factor in this maintenance management, we also need to know what is the scope of work, and so that we will find out a proper resource. What is the role and responsibility matrix, what is the available skill set of the team, and what is the gap of the existing team, so that the proper rectification arrangement can be achieved. Then equipment health check per se, there are many kind of equipment health checks systems are there, like thermal scanning, load bank testing, capacity utilization testing, utility life cycle assessment testing, and system risk assessment. So these are the parameters through which the equipment health checks can be achieved. And to do this, many kind of tools, tool chips are available in this market. Now facilities management process assessment, what we need to do is quality assurance and control measures you have to ensure, work process mapping, again KPI, and annual maintenance program. This is how a complete facilities management process assessment can be done. Now reliability centered maintenance is the growing concept, and this is where every company or every organization or every maintenance department is eyeing on. So here it constitutes three components: proactive maintenance, predictive maintenances, and preventive maintenances. Preventive maintenance is the last part. Our endeavor should be to avoid that. If we can do proactive maintenance, then the requirement of preventive maintenance is lowered. So more focus towards proactive maintenances and predictive maintenances by doing all kind of inspections, all kind of tests, all kind of measures. So reliability centered maintenance can be achieved through these three components, which is very essential as on date. Now while we do preventive maintenance thing, there are some priorities also. So in priority, there are some routine preventive maintenances, there are some priority preventive maintenances, there are some emergency preventive maintenances, and there are some urgent preventive maintenances also. So depending on the industry, type of industry, depending on the type of equipment, these things matter much. Like the urgent preventive maintenance is required where the impact on business is very serious, and the routine is where the impact to business is insignificant. So we have to decide, depending on the industry, what kind of preventive maintenance measure to be taken as per the business need. Now I will focus on some kind of maintenance practice which is going very what do you call famous in this industry today, like thermography. Now thermography is becoming very popular today because nobody wants to give shutdown, and everybody wants ki my system should run 24 into 7, but my maintenance should be done just like a magic stick. So this is how things are moving. So that is why this thermal imaging or thermography kind of concepts are becoming very popular in terms of equipment maintenances. So abnormal heating associated with high resistance or excessive current flow is the main cause of many problems in electromechanical system. Infrared thermography allow us to see those invisible thermal signatures of impending damage before the original damage or the actual damage occurs. When current flows through the electrical circuit, part of the electrical energy is converted into heat energy, which is a natural fact. But if there is abnormally high resistance in the circuit or abnormally high current flow, then abnormally high heat is generated, which is wasteful and potentially damaging the circuit or the system. That is why by doing thermal imaging, we can understand where we are, where our system is, what is the present status of the system, and corrective action can be taken accordingly. Depending on the system, we can have a shutdown time, or if a standby system is available, we can make the that redundancy and we can repair or we can maintain the particular part. So this is why this thermography is very much important and very much popular today. The key benefits of thermography is minimize equipment and repair cost, because before it actually damage, it is giving us a prior notification. Reduce equipment downtime for sure. Maximize equipment reliability. Increase equipment efficiency, no doubt. Prolong equipment life cycle, because we have repaired it before it got damaged fully. Boost capacity utilization, because the efficiency will keep on. Increase labor productivity also, because before it get full damage, we could have repair with low labor cost. Improve organization assets and employees, and enhance overall maintenance efficiency also. So there are many advantages of this thermography. One of another important and what do you call good factor is power quality assessment. Power quality assessment is also a requirement by the Indian electricity rules, and that is also a must in many of the industries. The objectives of this technical audit is to identify, prioritize, and set forth areas of attention for remedial action to minimize the risk and improve upon the reliability of the electrical power distribution system. So this power quality assessment is very much crucial as on date to ensure whatever system we are having is producing good output. So it has got many factors to it. So the first factor is power factor study, load balancing, study of load balancing, dips and swells if there is anything at all, harmonic analysis, power and energy management, and transients if there is anything at all. So these are the factors which are constituting this power quality assessment, and this is also becoming very popular in maintenance kind of thing. Another factor which is also plays a important role in maintenance is grounding system assessment. The unfortunate fact is we have now moving towards high-rise buildings, be it corporate, be it residences, and when the earthing took place, by the time we take over the building or we occupy the building, 90% of the cases we don't know where our ground system is, where our earthing is going to is getting uh, digged. So we have to find that place, and that plays a very important role. Without proper grounding system, the entire electrical system can go for a toss. So that is also one of the important factor. So objective of grounding test is to derive fair understanding of the grounding system arrangement with the building load versus utility. Test process with Clampon meter captures earth resistance in whatever equipment, multiple loop bonded grounding system. Variation in excess of plus or minus 20% comparing to the readings noted on last occasion will indicate how our system is functioning. So objective of maintaining earth resistance less than 5 ohm through equipotential earth connections can be achieved through early detection of this ground system, which is very much important as on date. Unless we have got a proper grounding system, the entire system can be go for a toss. Now, how to do performance evaluation? So, performance evaluation methodology is crafted with some objective like assess the opportunity of saving energy. Typically, if we can save, let's say 15 to 25% of the energy, then we have got a ROI of 2 to 2.5 years to get any equipment value out of it. So performance evaluation of any equipment. So be it a air conditioning plant, be it a generator, be it the UPS. So performance evaluation criteria is one of the important factor also in terms of maintenance things. Now, this performance evaluation criteria should be done in periodical way so that we exactly know where our system is. Now coming back to sustainability, as on date everybody is moving towards carbon footprint, how to reduce them. I was going through some postings of SDFC Bank being posted by Dr. Sati Chauhan, who's heading their admin. It was very interesting to note that by providing some financial assistance to a person or a company or a system who is engaging themselves into reducing carbon footprint in the society, they are also counting that as one of their credit, which is also very good, because whatever they can do at their offices, at their buildings, at their systems is one part which is directly being done by them. On the other hand, they are encouraging the entire system because they are into that trade, they are into that financing factor. So if they can make proper finance availability to the company or the person who's engaging himself into reducing carbon footprint, is also one of their achievements, which I liked much and I remarked also there. So this is also one of the aspect which in the maintenance program we should go with. Now, water conservation is also becoming very popular today. Gone are those days we were thinking, we can get water at any point in time, at any place, but that's not the case now. Now coming back to manpower also. Nowadays, by getting a skilled manpower, by engaging a proper skill set to a proper program is also one of the factor. So engage and improve employee in sustainability initiatives by the organization. Event based campaigns should be there to ensure our sustainability is in place. Mailers, posters and awareness campaigns should be there. and also generate inclusive participation through interest generation program. So nowadays also in cleaning and hygienic activities, the sustainability also plays an important role. How can the best come out of the waste? People have started engaging the housekeeper who's at the last mile. They have started making him engage. How can he get best out of the waste whatever he has collected from the entire office premises or the industry premises? So this is how we can ensure the sustainability factor also plays an important role. So if I can conclude the entire program or the entire discussion, whatever I thought to contribute for the fraternity, if I can conclude in one line, one sentence, or if I can express my thought, if I am buying a equipment today, or if I am wanting to put a program of maintenance in place for whatever it is, even if for a floor, for a facade, for equipment, for a furniture, if I can maintain the originality of the particular equipment or commodity by implementing the maintenance program as per the book, and I ensure the program is sustainable, the program is auto run, irrespective of who initiated the program or who's executing the program, irrespective of who's there in which shift, irrespective of all these things, if I can implement this program and I ensure the particular equipment is there intact for years to come, that is the perfect maintenance program. And I can give you a best example. We all might have seen vintage cars, once a year, or in different kind of events. Many people used to do this kind of things. They used to have a showcasing of vintage cars. So whoever are the lovers of vintage cars, they know the real value of maintenance, because these are the things which they loved much. That is why they want to keep them forever with them. So for that, they would be doing a proper maintenance of those activities, whatever is required. So the objective of a proper maintenance program is to ensure whatever maintenance program is being implemented to whichever thing is intact as it was while it was new, or while we bought it as a new thing. Now coming back to some people have asked some questions, like Prakash Mishra is very active here. He has asked about IoT and all these things. So yes, Prakash, I agree with you. Of course, there is no question and answer session here because this is a talk program only. Otherwise, I would have run a PowerPoint presentation and I would have discussed all these things. But this is the beauty of FMJPI. Now, I was going to his questions. Let me go. So he was asking, can manpower optimization be impacted by Industry 4.0 and IoT? Yes, why not? See, as on date, by implementing IoT, I have already discussed about reliability centered maintenance, where I explained you about a concept of proactive maintenance or predictive maintenance. Preventive maintenance is a very normal factor. Now this IoT is helping us in analyzing the pattern of the operation of that particular equipment and how that equipment is behaving. By analyzing all those things, he is predicting something. So that is what is helping us to understand the equipment better. Like I gave you the example of medical science today. The doctors, rather than only touching the body of the guy or touching through a stetho or in whichever way, they are doing multiple tests through multiple things. How to know what exactly is the particular disease, so that they will prescribe the medicines or the particular things accordingly. So the equipments are helping them to diagnose the proper problem or the appropriate problem. Though we all are human beings and we are telling the doctor, this is what I am feeling, this is what is happening to me, but the machine is not able to tell us that. So by implementing this IoT and industry 4.0, yes, we can optimize the manpower by having a proper preventive maintenance or proper maintenance plan in place, where I must have told many times to analyze the skill set gap, to put a proper resource in place, to ensure we are at a good hand as far as our maintenance program is concerned. So this is what it is all about. I hope I have done justice to the topic. I hope I have done my work as an engineer. Whatever I learned from all of you, I must say thanks to FMJPI and Nilesh, who's leading this baton to the next level, and many thanks to all of you who have spared your valuable time on one of the weekend evening. I never expected this many people will be watching me, but many thanks for sparing some time for from your valuable things, from your family time. And if some opportunity will be available to me in future, I will also try to do justice to the industry. So whatever I have told, whatever I have expressed is from my 25 years of experience, whatever I learned from all of you, from my seniors, from my colleagues, and even if from my juniors also. I must say thank you to all of them during this forum. And I believe in learning on a daily basis. I try to learn from anybody and everybody. I love to learn from my juniors also. I give them equal respect as my seniors. So my gratitude to all of you. Again, I can finish my talk with a simple and famous prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, सर्वे भद्राणी पश्यन्तु माँ कश्चित दुख भाग भवेत। इस जिंदगी में किसी को कोई दुख ना आए, सब खुशी रहे, सब शांति में जीवन बिताएं और सब स्वस्थ रहे, सब कुशल रहे। दिस इज व्हाट माय मोटिव इज इन माय लाइफ टिल टुडे। Knowingly, I haven't done any harm to anybody, and I always try to be as simple, as perfect as possible. I try to be as ideal as possible. But you never know, knowingly or unknowingly, if somebody could be committing any mistake, or somebody means I am talking about myself now. But please don't take that as an intentional thing from my side. I always try to contribute to the society as a social worker. If you can ask me who am I, so my answer will be I am a social worker. I am here for the society, I am here for the fraternity, I am here for all of you. So my priority is how can the society be enriched, how can everybody in this world live happily, live peacefully, how can there will be a ecosystem through which we can have a sustainable life ahead. And maintenance is one of the priority or one of the important factor while doing all these things. So whatever maintenance we do, if we do the proper maintenance for our body, it is maintaining a good health. For the equipment, it is maintaining for the equipment, and it can be applicable for anything and everything. You have got a garden, you want to do a proper gardening, so you are doing watering, manuring, all these kind of things, so you get good things out of it. So that is also a maintenance. So the definition of maintenance is vast. The topic is very vast. So today it was only for FM fraternity or facilities management perspective. So I tried to cover whatever aspect I have been learned so far. So again, many thanks to all of you. Namaskar, Jai Hind. So I am ending the live video. Bye.